can I pivot and adjust? There is a huge people resource virtual out there that we should be looking at. How do we tap into? And that happens to be college kids and high school kids that are not in school right now. They have computers, they have the ability, and dang, they would be more than willing to work for pizza money because pizza's still being delivered. Okay, consider that as a resource that is new that may be able to help you. Finances, listen, the finances are changing. We've got a slide on that a little bit later, but everyone needs to look at what are your finances right now and where can I look to get more support. Logistics. Folks, logistics is the thread that's going to hold this society together like a necklace. Okay, logistics is going to move things and connect people. Look at what your logistics are right now, what they need to be, what can you deliver when people aren't coming to you? How can you get your solutions to them? Operations, absolutely, operations are changing. They're going to continue to change. Customer service has changed. We're going to look at that as well. And listen, folks, we're all in a community. So many times we forget that community. We'll have to congratulate several of our government leaders in focusing in on community on here. We as business leaders, we need to focus on community too. We are impacting that. We have the ability to make that life better. Okay, the next step, assess your situation. Listen, again, everybody's situation is different and everybody's situation is going to be different by the 6 o'clock news tonight. We're in a rapid, daily, hourly changing environment and expect more change. Every single one of these changes is going to also present opportunities. Look for those, okay? Again, take a deep breath and let it out. Nothing is standard right now. We need to blow up anything that we looked at we used to do back in December. Nothing is standard. You also need to recognize you're not in this alone, folks. We are all in an area where there is no process for this. There is no guidebook. There is no approved solution for where we are today. We need to create that. We need to create it for ourselves and we need to create it for our community. So in that creation, that's the next bullet. I want you to put a mindset right now, and please write this down. The mindset is, yes, I can, and many times in a crisis, we get into an either or, a light switch. Either I do this or I do that. That's very, very dangerous. That is putting everything 100% on a decision. Either or can be very dangerous and very costly. I learned that in military operations and in combat. We always have contingency plans. We look at how we can continue to do what we're doing right now and do something else or plan for the next move. So either or, light switch type of mentality is going to be dangerous. Think of how I can do what I'm doing and look at something new. Okay? Ask yourself, how could this affect you? When you watch the news, when you interact with people, there are things that are changing. You know, I don't mean to boast, but I saw this when we were reporting about the outbreak, the initial outbreak in China, and China was building, rapidly building hospitals. That's when I went out and got my toilet paper and my cleaning supplies. All right, so I was ahead of this because I was asking, how could this affect me if it came to me? When you get in front of this, you'll have a better sleep at night. Okay, ask yourself, what if? Okay, we're switching things all over the place. What if this isn't weeks? What if this goes until the 4th of July or beyond? You know, do we have the legs to continue with that? And then the last thing on assessing your situation is, this is not something you can do once, okay? Throw away your pen and pull out your old elementary school pencil, because your plans and your actions are going to change. We're going to need to erase it. We're going to need to redo it again and again and again. When we started putting this presentation together last Friday, there were many slides in here that I just had to pull out because they're just not relevant anymore. So assess and assess your situation often. Have people that you can bounce this off of. Okay, people, again, community is where it's going to help. and assessing your situation and looking at how things change is going to keep you vital and help you survive. All right, review our goals. I mean, there's a blinding flash of the obvious. 2020 has changed, and it's changed forever. The way we do business, the way we treat life is going to change forever. You know, if you remember back to after 9/11, you know, we had one person that tried to blow up his shoes on an airline, and our life changed forever. And for years and years, we were taking shoes off at the airport. Okay, this is going to change life. We need to look at our goals, and we need to reassess where are we going. Okay, and again, I've said this before, but look at this goal, look at your goals as a journey, not a destination. There is no safe destination right now. There is only a journey of look at how far we've come and look at the successes that we've gained step by step. All right, so what does that mean? What we focus on right now is short term, 90 days. What needs to change in your goals for the next 90 days? And what's the most immediate thing? As we are changing, make sure you put a footnote on every time, you know, have an extra piece of paper. We call it the green sheet, and that's the external memory that, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I would have a great idea driving along in the car, and 2 traffic lights later, I'm sitting there going, what was that idea? I can't remember. So as we change, make sure if you've got any ideas at all, any thoughts on how to be better than you are right now, write them down someplace. Those ideas are going to come out in the long term. And when you have them recorded, you'll be able to understand that. Okay. And look for your opportunities. Okay. Opportunities are out there. Again, I've been working with my clients for at least 2 weeks now on what's going to happen in their business. And 2 weeks ago, one of my clients is a pool service company. Okay, they clean private pools, they clean commercial pools. And it's not pool season yet, but they're gearing up to open up pools. What's going to happen there? It's anybody's guess. However, in our coaching session, we were looking for opportunities. Pool service has chlorine, they have cleaning, they have the ability to disinfect. So together we came up with the idea to offer community pools an ability to daily sanitize the pool equipment and the pool decks. Never did that before. They would clean on a weekly basis, but this is a golden opportunity where he has a solution to a potential problem. We presented that to some of his commercial clients, and at least 3 or 4 of them bought off on it that day, didn't even ask what the cost was. Folks, there's opportunities out there. We need to find those. That's what we're looking for when we say review our goals. Okay, adjust your plan. Folks, you know, listen, whatever you're planning right now in a crisis, cash is king. We need to preserve our cash. So when I say cash is king, we need to look at, as long as you have money, you have flexibility. When you have no money, you're now at the mercy of others. So cash is king, and look at everything that you're doing. The government is already talking about, hey, can we postpone loans? Can we forgive people that don't make their rent? They're going to come up with a solution. We need to be around when that solution hits. So listen, when I say stop spending, we need to be wise on that, okay? Stop spending is stop spending on the non-essentials, okay? If you are looking at building and expanding, you might want to postpone that right now. You might want to delay it, okay? Now, that's the negative. Let's go to the positive. I have just earlier this week, I got an offer in the mail. Credit card, 0% on transfer of funds until 2022. Folks, there are money opportunities out there that banks and lending associations have available to you. Now is the time to make a list. Look at what your credit is right now. Look at where your credit lines are and renegotiate those. Okay, this is something that you're not only going to help you now, but think about 0% financing for the next 2 years and what that could do for your business. Okay, again, slow down and postpone those things that aren't essential. This is what we have to look at, what plan you have right now, and do those adjustments. Now, that's the slowdown. Listen, the one thing that you cannot do is slow down on marketing and selling. Okay, every single one of you has a solution that people are looking for. Okay, when you're quarantined in your house, you're not going to work. People are looking for delivery. Okay, a solution. Well, I'll share with you one of my clients' stories from yesterday when we dig deep into that. And listen, the last thing is what you're doing today. You're looking for advice from trusted advisors. You're looking for advice from people that have been there, that can help you and guide you. Don't do any of these 7 steps alone. You're trusting on one brain. Collect up your advisors, collect up your board of directors, get guidance. If you don't have a coach, seriously consider that. That is going to help you make sure you don't make the mistakes that are going to cost you money. They don't do the prioritizing on the wrong things. Okay, find a support that's going to help you at least think through the process and plan. Okay, here's an example. One of my clients, just if you take a look at the very top, yesterday we were in a coaching session. You know, my brightest achievement over the last week was implementing his contingency plan. And we started working on this 3 weeks ago. And then, you know, again, contingency plan. I know it's hard to see, but look down at the bottom just yesterday and compare this with your own mindset. When I ask the question, my motivation is, my client responded 90% in today's crisis. Okay, and business is a blessing. Folks, that's just that's a positive on what we do and how we help people. And it really, as you can see, it hit me, and I really feel blessed to be able to help people in this time and help them feel blessed and feel motivated whenever they're struggling to do that. Okay, let me get back. Step 6, listen, adapt your operations. There's going to be several slides on this. You know, clearly everything has changed. Everything that we consider on how we deliver our goods and services has changed. It's the bottom line. And I know no one has a plan for this crisis. So we got to create it. Okay. So what are your precautions? What do we have to do to keep people safe? You know, again, this is about business, but business is about people. And the precautions that we take right now, you know, we need to be serious about that. Again, in the military, you know, we're talking about hand sanitizers and face masks and, you know, cleaning equipment. Well, you know, once you sanitize your house, the outside is a buggy, germy world. How do we make sure that that buggy, germy world stays outside? You know, just sanitizing and cleaning. When we walk in with shoes, we walk in and bring that stuff into the house. There's precautions that we have to change in our business and in our lives. What are the temporary changes that we have to do? Again, contingencies. You know, when I was putting this together, one of my buddies from the Army reminded me of a very first lesson that I had. As a second lieutenant with the 101st Airborne, I had planned this operation out, and you know, it just failed miserably. And my old crusty platoon sergeant, Sergeant Olwine, you know, he pulled me aside and he said, "Lieutenant, there's no worries here. That was plan A. You got B through Z. Let's just rework this." And that's what we're looking at in contingencies. You know, look at not only plan A, but what's your plan B, C, D. Look at your contingencies. And listen, look beyond your own 4 walls. Suppliers and stakeholders in your community, they're all part of your operations. How can you work together to keep everybody safe and to change your operations? Okay, the next thing, listen, common sense. The common sense is one of these where you almost have to tie a string around your finger to remember the common sense and compassion. The news is blasting us with negativity. They're blasting us with change. You know, hey, listen, Rick Plasket's view on the news is they are there to tweak our emotion. And the strongest emotions are fear and anger. And that's what they're there to do. The more fearful we are, the more we watch them, the more they can show their advertisers that they're being watched, and the more they can charge for their advertisements. So again, take a deep breath, put a string around your finger, and remember that, and have some common sense. It's not going to be your fallback. It is not your default right now. Common sense sometimes has to be a conscious competence that we have to sit and think about. So in that area, how do we over deliver to our customers? You know, what are our customers' fears right now? I was working with a client yesterday who has a carpet cleaning and a indoor restoration company. Okay, well, no one is really interested in cleaning their spots off their carpet right now, but there's a whole lot of people that would be interested in sanitizing their house and sanitizing their soft surfaces. So we needed to change and pivot. And that's what we did with customer service, making that communication and that service known. Okay, clean and don't touch. Like I said, everybody is saying that. Those that have the cleaner and the toilet paper and the sanitizer are doing it. Think about how you do it. Again, in the military, we would train with a tear gas tent. We would don our protective mask and our protective gear, and we would go into this tent, and we could breathe. You could see the gas all around you, and we were all nice and happy. We come outside, we think we're in a safe zone after exiting the tent, and we start to take our gear off, and all of a sudden we're all crying. And that was a lesson that we learned, because there's a proper way of, imagine an airlock. You know, when you go from water to a submarine, you got to have a space in between where you have an airlock to transition. You have the same thing in your office. Okay, you've got a clean environment. How do we make sure that the clean stays clean and the dirty stays out of the clean? Okay, again, common sense and compassion, put people first. I said that before in this presentation. I'm going to say it again. We need to make sure that people, even though they're remote, people are the ones that are going to make this together and help us get through it. Okay, be nice, take a chill pill. You know, yesterday in putting this together, late last evening, we were having some technical glitches, and it was about to just put me postal. And I had to take a deep breath, walk out of the room, and realize, you know, it's not me. This is the stuff that people are going through. I need to recognize that and just take a chill pill. And, you know, guys, don't buy too much toilet paper. Everybody needs to wipe. Okay, extended credit. I talked about this before. Okay, listen, there are credit opportunities right now. If you have a credit line, call your bank as soon as we're finished here and look at what you can do to extend that. That's going, cash is king, credit is queen. Okay, take your credit lines of credit and how can we extend that? That will help you get through the crisis. Credit cards, you know, again, credit card offers from the banks, I'm just amazed. Okay, not only at the rates, but at the volume that has hit just this week. They're looking for business like everybody else. Okay, look for where you can use that and benefit yourself. And yes, even if you have to go personal, okay, both of those are going to not only help you now, they're going to help you into the future. Imagine every single credit line that you have, if you can drop it just 2 points by renegotiating or refinancing, what's the effect of that going to be over the next 5 to 7 years? Okay, find the lowest rates and do it now. There we go, repeat business. Listen, folks, your current customers, your existing customers are your best customers, okay? So many times we forget to market to those. So many times we forget to treat them as royalty. Now's the time to do it, okay? Create deals for them. Help them to understand, again, that you're there for them. Now, just for a second, I want you to imagine your favorite restaurant, okay? Imagine your favorite restaurant. In fact, write down the name right now, okay? When's the last time that you got an email or a text or a tweet from your favorite restaurant with any type of deal at all? You know, I have coached a number of restaurants over the years that I've been coaching, and to my amazement, every single restaurant that I go out there, with a very small exception, does not track and does not capture their customer information. You know, for restaurants that have to go to delivery now, most of them are absolutely on hopium. They're hoping that you're thinking about them and will come into them to carry something out. Now, imagine the other side of this. If that restaurant was working with a coach and we showed you the value of capturing your customer database, that restaurant could be forwarding and proactively sending out information now to their customers, inviting them to come in to a carry-out meal. Where would they be? They would be surviving when other businesses are going to be failing in the restaurant environment. You know, again, treat your customers and your current customers like royalty, okay? Let them buy in bulk. Again, I go back to my carpet cleaning client, okay? We looked at this and said, hey, you know, what can we do for our customers? Well, we can clean now. This thing's going to get worse. People are going to get sick. Why don't we bundle? So we put together an offer, 3 cleanings for the price of 2. I'll come out and clean now. You have 2 on the books. You call me when you're ready to clean. If someone gets sick in the neighborhood and they feel like they need to clean, or when this is all over and they want to make sure that every bug is out of there, they'll call again and clean. Brilliant idea. You know, another brilliant idea on the repeat customers. And again, I'm going to use my carpet cleaning guy. If people are quarantined at home, they're afraid of people coming into the house. You know, if you have a plumber come in, an HVAC serviceman come into your house, first thing you're going to wonder is, are they sick or aren't they sick? Have they been in contact with somebody that's sick? You know, you as a business that has to deliver services, how do you address that? You know, well, one of the ways that our carpet cleaning guy decided to address that is what used to be a personal visit for an estimate. Now we're using technology and we're looking at how can we do FaceTime. And with the FaceTime camera of the customer in the protection of their own home, cleaner doesn't have to come into the home until they're there with the Clorox and the sanitizer to clean. So whatever they bring in, they're going to clean before they leave. Now, is that going to give a customer peace of mind? Absolutely. Okay, these are the types of things that we look at for our current customers. Okay, you need to keep them at all costs. Communication is vital. Folks, if you haven't had a blasting of emails from many, many different organizations and businesses telling you how they are taking precautions for you, and then you're living underneath a rock, okay? I'm not saying that we need to continue to do that, but again, we need to communicate that to people. Working with Action Coach and a business coach, we can help you get that as the right type of communication for your customers. You know, again, having a cookie cutter one size fits all is not going to do anybody any good, but showing where you're unique and you can provide a unique solution to what the customers need now is going to be the difference between thriving and surviving. The 80-20 rule, you know, listen, the 80-20 rule, 20% of everyone's customer base is going to be 80% of their survival. Make a list of your top customers and how can you really focus on them and provide them what they need to survive and thrive as well. Maybe it's you know, sharing the information that you see here today. That's one example of how you do that. But let's make sure we know who our top customers are, help them to survive as you survive, give them solutions that they're looking for now, and they're going to be not only loyal to you now, but they're going to remember that when we come out of this, okay? Loyalty is built in crisis. When you can be the upstanding foundation of a solution in crisis, you'll have those customers for life, okay? Marketing and selling, that's the one piece that I said you can't stop, okay? If anything, we got to double down on this. Folks, if you have a solution and your customer base doesn't know it, it's like this quote up here. Okay, I had to chuckle with that, but just imagine that. For a business to not advertise is like winking at a pretty girl in the dark. No one knows it's happening. Okay. Again, the carpet cleaning company, the pool service company, they have solutions that people are looking for. If we don't market that solution, no one knows, no one wins. So when it comes to the marketing, now's the time to increase it. Okay? Now's the time to really get out there and let people understand that you have solutions for them. So look, create new offers and new rates. Look for negotiated rates for where you are communicating. Now, I say that, and I also say things are moving so fast. I'm talking about marketing and marketing virtually and marketing as fast as you possibly can. Print is probably too slow for this time. Okay? Pay-per-click is going to blow up. Where are people right now? They're at home. What's their connection to the world? Google. Okay? Pay-per-click is they are Googling everything they possibly can. Pay-per-click, you know, likely words are going to go, the cost of words are going to go way up, but that's the way people are looking for you. We need to market there, and you need to be their solution today. You know, if we think back to 2008, when the market crashed, okay, Joseph A. Banks, they created offers to stay in business. They created offers of buy one suit and get two free, buy one dress shirt and get 5 free. You know, listen, you have to do what's right for you and what can keep you in business. But that's what we're talking about in the way of creating new offers. Be compelling to keep those customers. And you know what? When you market to your current customers, they're going to share that with others, and you'll actually grow to new customers when you're the solution. All right. Hey, there we go. Staffing, people. Look, the red up top is staffing cuts and changes. You know, no one likes to do that. Take a deep breath. I'm not saying that you have to do it right now. We absolutely have to plan for it. Over the last 2 weeks, I've been working with my clients, and I'm not coaching to make those decisions. I am coaching to identify the decision points. You know, that's what we're looking at. Where do we have to be to say, yep, we need to do changes and changes now? You know, clearly I'm saying staffing cuts. You know, if you're a restaurant, you're looking at staffing cuts. If you're Amazon, they just announced that they're hiring 100,000 people. So that's the changes. Okay. What I will give you guidance on, if you're looking at laying off or you're looking at cutting people, number one bullet, do it all at once. Okay. It is devastating to morale, and you will not recover from it if you dribble this out, because people won't know when they're next or not. So if you have to do cuts, do it all at once, and then go back to that communication slide and communicate to your people, this was it, you're safe, we're all in this together now, we got to do things differently. Okay, sometimes you just have to do this. Now, again, here in Kentucky, you know, the governor's announced changes to unemployment. You know, they don't have to wait 7 days in order to start their benefits. Okay, just yesterday, the unemployment office was blown up and overloaded by applicants. You know, I also heard on the news that sometimes if we are holding on to people, maybe we're hurting them instead of enabling them to get the unemployment benefits. Okay, an alternative to that. Look, depending on some of you, you've got a great team. The team is more like family. They pull together. Maybe an option is to cut pay for the short term. And when I was with Delta Airlines, that was one of the options that they did for pilots. They cut pay so that they would stay, and they looked at how to get back once it was done. Okay. Suspend bonuses. I'm hoping that we're beyond the bonus season right now. Again, if you're in a company that is looking at expending and presenting bonuses to people, now's not the time. Okay, when we're looking at people that are afraid because they're living paycheck to paycheck, and you send out a bonus to leaders for what they've done in the past, that is definitely just not congruent, and the perception is reality, and you're going to have a hard time working with your team after that. You know, folks, hire a coach. We work with our clients every single day, every single week to look at people and team solutions, when to hire, when to fire, how to hire, how to fire, how to change, and how to create a winning team. So when it comes to staff cuts and changing your people so that you can survive, again, I strongly recommend find guidance, find a mentor. Okay, I mean, doing this alone is a scary thing. Doing it alone, you may make the right solution, but you'll have a hard time sleeping at night. When you can bounce this off of other sage advisors and other brains, imagine the security you're going to feel when you have 7 brains looking at your situation instead of just yours. Okay, work at home. You know, listen, this is this is one of those slides that we almost pulled. Okay, this is old news now. Okay, it's a little hard to work at home when you're a service company or when you're a manufacturing line. But those of you that have the ability, your people are already doing this. If not full-time, then at least part-time. You've been doing it long enough that you need to look at the technology. Okay, you may have gone to work at home with workarounds with people's personal cell phones and their personal computers. You know, go down to the bottom bullet right there. You know, when we made this slide that we were looking at, is this going to be weeks? Well, you know, what if it's months? What if it's a lot of months? Okay, we need to have the solution that we can look at this, assess the scenario, adapt, and then continue to advance. Okay, listen, the communication, meetings, customer service, let's bundle those together. All right, I want you to think right now, folks, when's the last time that you Googled or YouTubed any information to learn on how to be a better communicator? Okay, our society is focused on face-to-face, person-to-person interaction. We value that above everything else. Now think of how many times you have texted and that text has been misinterpreted, misunderstood. How many times emails have been misunderstood. Okay, if I can coach you on 2 things right here, right now, and I'm not supposed to coach and give you solutions, but here are 2 that I am absolutely passionate about. When it comes to communication, go on Google, go on YouTube, and learn to be a better virtual communicator. You have to pick up on intonation changes in somebody's voice to see if they're stressed. You have to learn how to ask 360 feedback questions. Okay, you know, Tim Foster, what did you hear me say? Because we don't have the nonverbal cues that we have when we're in person. Okay, when it comes to emails, folks, this is something that I did when I went into John Deere as a senior VP. I was getting inundated by emails, and this was natural, normal operations, hundreds of emails a day, and there were so many of them where I didn't even know what the person wanted me to do until the 3rd or 4th paragraph. For those of you that have to communicate virtually with your team right now, start as soon as this webinar is done. Communicate with them that the email that you send out, the top line in that email needs to tell me what I need to do. Rick, I need you to do this. Rick, this is for your information. Rick, this deadline is. And then support it with the body. We are going to have emails blow up all over the place, if you haven't already, when people are working virtual. And when they work virtual, you have to recognize, again, they're insecure. I'm betting that many of your emails already have everybody from God down to the floor sweep CC'd on every single email. They want to make sure that communications are being covered with everybody and they're covering their own butt. Okay, that is the environment of today. It's going to make email non-effective. Be the leader, help change that, help show that less is more, and be very, very focused in the emails. Adapt a culture of What are you asking me to do? What do I have to do? What do I have to decide in this email, and put it up top? It's going to take some extra time when there's a whole lot of people that are CC'd on this, but it's very critical, and it will help maintain the effectiveness of that communication in a virtual world. Okay, when I talk about banking and mailing here, listen, some businesses still have checks, still have cash. You know, that's going to change. How do you work with that and get it to the bank and get your money in a shorter time and in a safer time? Okay, when it comes to mail, look, the post office is just not a fun place to go when we're in normal times, let alone having to do something to mail a hard document in these current times. Okay, every time I go into the post office, I'm looking for the scene from Men in Black 2. It just seems like that's the type of environment, and there's 100 people in there all observing that. Mail is a critical part. Okay, when we're doing virtual, there's still documents that have to have actual signatures and whatnot in. How do we plan for getting that stuff done? And again, I'm going to finish up with this slide with the bottom is, look, what we thought was weeks, just a week or two ago, you know, the president is now talking about July or August, where plans need to be supportive of a longer time. Okay. I mentioned online, you know, listen, CVS, this is a, you know, actually this is a week ago and it's already outdated. The CVS has waived the delivery fees. They're taking their product to you, you know, and I looked at that and went, ooh, that's a great business decision there. Then I thought later on, man, this is a survival decision. Okay, pharmacists are a critical keystone in our society. And if they start getting sick, then everybody's going to be out. So they're doing this to self-protect. You know, how do you self-protect? You know, look at, can you add delivery? Shoot, delivery and Uber delivers and Amazon Prime are simply the way of society today. You know, how can you deliver your goods and services online instead of alternatives? Okay, people won't be coming to you. We're locked down. You need to get your products to them. You know, how does your packaging need to change? That's an interesting question, isn't it? Okay, how do we need to change this? Those restaurants that never had carryout before, all of a sudden, they're scrambling to find carryout packaging. You know, accounts, many accounts are still dealt with invoices and checks. How do we change that so that we keep everybody safe and we all don't become a bank that is extended because of the physical transactions there? And the last thing is communication with customers. Listen, when it comes to communication with customers, we need to look at that very seriously. Some customers respond to emails, others respond to text, others respond to actual mail, others respond to video. Okay, communicate often, communicate in different manners. You know, listen, just because we're comfortable with email doesn't mean that your customers are. Okay, video, I'm doing this video. I'm not comfortable doing videos, okay? I have a phobia of it. I have to take some deep breathing beforehand, and yet video is the way to communicate with you right now. I need to learn how to do things differently. So do you. All right? Again, there's many different ways of delivering online. All right, so the 7th step. Listen, the economy goes in cycles. We've been in a summer cycle for a long time. I'm sure most of you have heard that. The average is 7 to 10 years of summer, and then we go into a down cycle. Okay, we've been long overdue for a down cycle. This down cycle is not driven by the economy, it's driven by a virus. Okay, what usually in 2008, we had a long summer, and then we had a gradual fall. It took almost a year to go through fall, and then the winter lasted for a couple of years after that. By everything that I see, and this is just Rick Plasket's opinion, this is not a fact anywhere, but it looks like fall was about a week. Winter, what we're seeing right now and what the news is, if you can read between the line, I'd be willing to say that our winter is going to be months, not years. How many months? No one knows. And again, listen, this is not an economic failure. This is a health protection failure of our economy and our business. When that is solved, business is going to come back fast. People don't like being trapped in their houses. People don't like not congregating. Spring is going to come. It's going to come fast. Now's the time that we can take, imagine where you will be if you dedicate at least an hour a week to your recovery. What am I going to do to come out of this? What is my plan to come out of this? Because the coming out, little man on that blue arrow going upward, you know, we've got a fall that lasted a week, a winter that may last several months. The next summer is going to be years again. Planning now means that you're going to be ahead of everybody else. And planning now, folks, there's going to be some of your competition that isn't going to be there. Okay, if an HVAC company goes out of business, I promise you that people still need to get their air conditioning fixed. When it turns 90 degrees, we are absolutely addicted to it, and we need to be prepared for that. Look, this is where coaching comes in. As we survive step by step, we are experienced in working with our clients to help you see, as we're doing the step today to survive, we can adjust that step and have it ready when we're about to thrive again. So again, as we're going through the crisis, we need to at least dedicate an hour every single week to looking at how will we recover when this is done, because it's going to go fast, and the people that have their running shoes on are going to benefit most from it. Okay, so in summary, listen, folks, today we covered 7 things. I said be the leader. Leader is a positive, and they communicate. Identify your support. Guys, together we're going to get through this. Together, together, together. Make sure you look at who your together is. Okay, if you're an introvert in a one-man army, now's the time to take a deep breath and find those that you trust most and get them involved and become involved in their solution as well. Okay, assess your situation. Folks, do it often. Things change. By the time we're done here, I'm sure there's going to be new news that's going to impact each and every one of us. All right, review your goals. Okay, when I say review your goals, now's the time to aim for the right target. Many times we get too close to the forest to see the trees. That's where a trusted advisor, a coach, can help you say, these are the right targets. Okay, we need to look at moving in the right direction, because if we move in the wrong direction, we just don't have the ability to hit the right target. Okay, adjust your plan. Again, pivot and adjust, pivot and adjust. I'm going to go back to my Army days. They taught us to shoot a rifle. And shooting a rifle, they taught us to ready, aim, fire, and squeeze the trigger slowly. Okay. Interestingly, again, good old Sergeant Olwine said, you know, LT, I understand that's what they want you to do. When you're in the heat of battle, I want you to ready, fire, aim. Okay, ready, fire, aim. That means take an action now, see what happens, and then adjust from those results. So again, adjust your plan and adjust it often. Adapt your operations, be purposeful, be quick. Folks, now is not the time to procrastinate. Okay, so as we get ready to wrap up, what I want you to do is recognize, I'm getting a notice up here that says you guys have been emailed, or we will email you the offer that we have at the bottom. Okay, they're going to get the offer in the link in an email. Super. All right, thank you. I'm sorry for that. We're real, we're human, and this thing is changing rapidly. Again, plan for your recovery and plan now. The offer that we're talking about. Let's get to the next and final slide. There we go. All right. Listen, get with an action coach if you have one. If you don't, then get with us. Okay. My name is Rick Plasket. The easy email is rickplasket@theredactioncoach.com there. I can get connected with you and get you with the resources that you need, whether it's me or one of the other action coaches. we can work on that together. Listen, the offer that we had, $595 for a crisis action plan that is customized for you. What we'll do in that is we will work Zoom, virtual, or by phone, and having an actual plan that's customized for you that addresses each of the 7 steps that we covered today. Take a picture of this slide. That is the link that will enable you to set up your time with me on my calendar to start that. And I believe we've got sessions as early as this afternoon scheduled when you get to that. You will also, if you haven't already gotten an email from us, very shortly after the conclusion of this webinar today, you'll get an email with that link. Again, all you have to do is touch that link. You'll be able to set up a time with me. And I've got a multi-page, but it's very, very simple, and it will be customized for you where you are right now so that you have the confidence and the security to know that this is what I should be doing and I'm not forgetting anything. Again, guys, take action today. It's not the time to procrastinate. I thank you all for joining us today. Again, looking forward to seeing how we can help you in the future. Have a super day. Oh, I'm sorry, I've got Tim coming in, wants to add
Hey, folks.
something here.
Hey, this is the emergency time period. It's not time to waste, and it's not time to put anything off. I'm gonna just congratulate Rick. I appreciate Rick Plasket for doing a great job getting in front of the challenge that we have right now. Now, you leaders, you have to step up now. We've given an offer out, and I'm the owner and the president of Action Coach Louisville, and I'm going to make an offer out to you right now. You know, we're going to cut some of the coaching pricing right away for the first 20 people that will come into this session. From the first 20 people that will come in, I'm going to make a special offer to you that's going to be offered for the first couple coaching sessions to be free of charge. The reason why we need that right now, Rick, is because these business owners, they need help right now. And we need to give all we can give. So we're trying to adjust our programs to help the business owner in trouble right now. The one that's struggling, the one that Rick talked about. Without some of the help that Rick did, these people wouldn't have the knowledge they have right now. So we're Action Coach Louisville, and we're just grateful that you showed up today. We're going to do some more sessions in the next few weeks. So I want you to tune in, but at the same time, need to act now.
All right. Thanks, folks. Have a super day. Stay safe, and don't stockpile with toilet paper.